Hello everybody, welcome to my July video blog. This is our last session in Strasbourg before the summer holiday in August, and we'll be back again in September. Quite a lot of interesting things going on here. You've probably seen on the TV or in the radio yesterday a little altercation between Mr. Juncker and the President of our Parliament, Mr. Tajani. And I've had quite a lot of people sending emails asking, why weren't you in the chamber? So just to explain, firstly it happened at 9 o'clock in the morning, which is not a problem. I'm in my office, but for those of you who think that Mr. Juncker maybe had a G&T, I think not, it was quite early. However, the way that we work here in the Parliament is that you don't get to speak. The political group gets to speak. And when it's somebody like Juncker, they only give permission to speak to effectively the leaders of the group. Now in our case, that was one of our Polish members, because our British leader was not in Strasbourg. So frankly, I don't need to go and listen to him speak. I was not going to have any opportunity or chance to speak, and really it's not a debate in the sense of, you catch the eye. Some of our debates we have the opportunity to go and catch the eye and speak, but these ones where people like Mr. Juncker are there, we're never allowed to, so consequently you don't get many people in the chamber. It is as simple as that. We can watch it in our offices on the TV, and that's what most people do. So, because you can get on with doing other things, have a cup of coffee or whatever at the same time. So I'm very pleased that Mr. Tajani stood up for the Parliament, because just because we don't want to go and hear Mr. Juncker speak doesn't mean to say that we're not a valid organisation and doing good work. So that was just a little bit of explanation. One of the things I was most involved in this week is speaking in the chamber on Saudi Arabia. As you know, I look after women's equality for the Conservatives in the Parliament, and I was rather surprised to hear that at the UN they have voted Saudi Arabia onto the Commission on Women's Rights, which I find astonishing, as they are probably, for women, probably one of the worst places in the world to live. And this was brought home to me when I was watching The Handmaid's Tale on TV recently. I don't know if any of you are watching it. It's a really interesting, good programme. And it's set in this dystopian future where you have this theocratic dictatorship, which effectively puts women in the position of being, well, almost slaves. You can't go out, you can't eat, you can't drink, you can't wear what you like, you can't drive a car, all kinds of huge restrictions. And you think, well, you're looking at a terrible future that couldn't happen, right? Couldn't happen. And then you think about it, sounds a bit like Saudi Arabia. So what we look at on the TV as being an appalling place in somebody's fantastic imagination, Margaret Atwood, it's not really, it's actually happening. So I was very pleased to be able to stand up in the Parliament and condemn the United Nations for even considering having Saudi Arabia as part of a Commission on Women's Rights. Totally crazy. So I'll close. Wish you all a very lovely summer. We'll be back at work in September.